So Perplexity is still at it, and they're still going strong on their whole AI browser thing. Now, a little while ago, I made a video talking about how Perplexity wants to make an AI browser, but apparently they now want it to be added to smartphones. Not just added, but pre-installed. So we're going to go ahead and cover it in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and look at an article by I think this news company is called Pyments, but I might be wrong. But that's what I think. That's how I think it's pronounced. Perplexity wants to add its Comet AI browser to smartphones. Now, when they say add, they don't just mean like, oh, it's gonna be on the Google Play Store. No. They want it to be a pre-installed thing. Now, there are a lot of different smartphone vendors like Samsung and like all the different smartphone vendors, namely Android smartphone vendors, because Apple doesn't do this, that will go ahead and pre-install things on phones for the customers. Some carriers will do it too. So, for example, if you've ever bought like a smartphone or a Motorola and you see that Facebook is pre-installed for some unknown reason, that's typically why. If you're wondering why you get a phone and then there's just some random app that you have no clue why it's there, that's why. They use it as a sort of advertising thing. So if it comes on the phone, you're more likely to click on it and try it out. So what Perplexity wants to do is they want to do exactly this. The company is in talks with mobile device makers to have its Comet browser pre-installed on phones. CEO and co-founders said in an interview with Reuters on Friday. The report noted that this move could provide a major boost to Perplexity's reach by capitalizing on browser stickiness, a term for a user tendency to stay with browser apps to come with or set as default on their devices, and thus leading to habitual use of the company's AI tools. Now, admittedly, this isn't all that bad of an idea. However, I will say this. Browser stickiness is kind of like a weaning thing. I get what they're talking about. Some people are more likely to use the built-in and default web browser. This is the same across phones. This is the same across computers as well. People who use Mac OS are more likely to use Safari than anything else. Some people are more likely to use Microsoft Edge. Some people are more likely to use, Chrome if their iPhone, or not iPhone, or their Android phone came with it or something. I get that fact. I understand. But the thing is a lot of people like to just use the browser they're familiar with, even on mobile. If you're a Chrome person, there's a 99% chance that you're just going to go out and install Chrome. That's what a lot of people with phones do nowadays. There's a percentage, sure, that definitely just uses the default browser. So, you know what? Sure, they could capitalize on that percentage, but a lot of people just replace the default browser with Chrome or something. And even then, sometimes the default browser is just Chrome, okay? So, I kind of get where they're coming from here. And they need to do some, marketing something in order to get this browser to actually succeed. Because I'll be completely honest, I have seen 1,000,001 different AI browsers. One of my favorite web browsers, Arc, was trying to be an AI-centric web browser. It kind of failed, and then the entire company just abandoned that web browser, made a new one, and that one isn't going anywhere. This concept has already been tried, and people don't really like it. They're not really receptive to the pattern that these kinds of products promote. The sort of idea that you have the LLM in the web browser. Not a lot of people really like it. It's just not really a thing. Maybe they can find their target audience this way. But I don't know. It's really iffy. Perplexity itself isn't bad. I'll say this. full disclosure, I like Perplexity. Perplexity as a search engine, I think, is good. Perplexity as a web browser, I probably would never use. Because what I want from a web browser is to be able to web browse and store my tabs in a convenient way. That's it. If I want an LLM, I go out to the place where I get my LLMs from, or I run it on my own computer, or whatever. I don't typically want it in my browser. It's just, AI in web browser isn't really something that, as far as I've seen, is really a well-received pattern. Not a lot of users really use it. I mean, Microsoft's been trying this too with Copilot in the browser, and not many people really use Copilot in the browser. They tend to just kind of ignore it. Like, it's just not a thing that people just use that much. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens. And what I'm kind of worried about is how much money they're going to spend to try to actually get, like, dominance in the browser market, at least on smartphones. Because trying to convince OEMs to change the default browser, like, from Chrome or, like, whatever built-in whatever they have, to this Comet browser is an expensive ordeal. Because Google pays up the wazoo for their browser to be default. They do. They really do. So, having this happen is going to be hard. And some vendors like Samsung package their own web browsers. So, trying to convince some of these OEMs is going to be difficult. If nothing else, very expensive. So I get why they're doing this. But it just... I feel like it's such a bad bet on something that, frankly, users don't really like anyways. It's not a pattern that users really like, having the LLM in the browser. Most people I know, and as far as I've been made aware by, like different people who've talked about these kinds of browsers, typically what will be done is if they want an LLM, they just go to OpenAI.com or like ChatGPT or like whatever they use for the LLM. They don't go to it in the browser. That's just not something people really do. So I don't know. It's just... I mean, I guess we'll see. But I don't know. I'm a little iffy on this. That is about it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care, you guys. And remember to stay safe out there.